Hi guys, what is going on and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss the current state of Bitcoin, and we will also be discussing the current state of Euro against the dollar and a potential interesting trading idea that is currently being developed on the Euro price. Also, we will be looking at a potential trade idea that I have in mind on the Bitcoin price. We can see so far this week has been pretty bearish. Last week, after we put in this massive week and we got this move to the upside, a lot of people got extremely bullish. Now, I was already telling you guys on Monday's video, at some point they are going to fill this wick. Why? Because wicks are a big draw on liquidity. Wicks are indicating that price is moving too fast and that a lot of unfilled orders are being left behind. And at some point, market makers will always push the price back towards that wick to fill their unfilled orders. Now, we swept this high over here. And if we are going to go on a 2-hourly time frame, we can see that after sweeping that high, that inducement, we rejected from this order block. I was actually having a short setup over here, but after the front run of this over here, of the short setup, I removed my order, unfortunately. Extremely stupid execution on my behalf. At the end of the day, it played out perfectly. Now, I discussed this setup, by the way, in last week's video. You can watch it back as well. Now, what's my next trading idea for Bitcoin? If we're going to check out a 4-hourly time frame, we can see that we are still range bound, right? If this is our current range for Bitcoin, we can see that we're still range bound. We've seen a deviation of the range low now, and we've also seen a deviation of the range high. After the deviation of the range high, we got back inside of the range. We bounced over here around the quarterly range, retested the range high, couldn't get above, couldn't get above, couldn't get above. So what happens is you push back down towards that mid-range. Now, since we are still trading inside of this range, I'm telling you guys always the exact same thing. You have to trade this range until it breaks. Now, I'm definitely seeing something interesting being developed over here on the Bitcoin price. Looking at the current mid-range level, we can see that it has been pretty pivotal in the past. We can see over here, it was resistance. Over here, we created this hour 4 level of resistance as well. And afterwards, we rejected over here. Over here, resistance, resistance, resistance. It became big support, big resistance, right? Over here, it became support. Now, that last time that it became support is an interesting one. Because if we're going to zoom in, we can see that we basically front run that mid-range level, right? So actually, this low over here might be some sort of an inducement of the mid-range support level. Now, a lot of people are looking at these equal lows to be taken out as the liquidity objective. So a lot of people are now looking to build longs, right? We have this small level of support over here. We had this demand area over here as well. Everyone that is looking to long this kind of price section, where do we think they're going to put their stop loss? Exactly, they will put their stops beneath the low over here. So basically, they're exactly putting their stops where we have a massive area of support, which is the mid-range. So that's the area where I'm currently interested in potential longs. Let's make this color yellow to have a clear sight of what is going on over here. So what I'm currently preferring for the Bitcoin price is to simply trade this range until it breaks. Now, we have rejected the range high, we've seen a deviation of the range low and a deviation of the range high, so we should technically get a move towards the mid-range. If we hold the mid-range area, yes, it's fine to get a little bit of a deviation beneath it, but if we hold the mid-range area, we should once again see a move back towards that range high. And that's an interesting move. I think currently, if we sweep this liquidity low over here, the next round liquidity will be the liquidity that we have been building up with these constant lower highs, right? So if we are going to go to 1-hourly time frame, we can see constant lower highs being formed on the Bitcoin price. And these lower highs are indicating that we have a huge liquidity buildup over here to the upside. And I think after taking this liquidity, that should be our next liquidity objective, okay? Because many people will try to short this breakdown over here, right? So if we get a pullback, many more people start shorting, that will add to the already existing liquidity pool, and that could cause a potential squeeze higher. Now, that's the plan. Let's wait for a move towards the mid-range. let's start looking for longs over here, and let's target this range high area and the draw on liquidity that we have over there. Pretty clean setup being developed on the 4-hourly time frame for the Bitcoin price. Now, moving on to Euro. I think Euro is looking pretty interesting as well, and I think we have to be careful right over here on Euro. One of the reasons why I'm telling you guys that we have to be careful over here is the fact that we got this extremely swift and harsh move down on Friday, followed by this pump. Now, what happens with these swift moves down? We know that because this move is so fast and so aggressive, that market makers probably didn't have the time to fill all of their orders. So if we're going to check the 15-minute time frame, we can see that we had liquidity beneath this low. We had liquidity beneath this low over here. Now, in order to use the liquidity to fill their orders, we need to see some kind of consolidation inside of this area for smart money to be able to fill their orders. And we haven't seen that. Now, because we haven't seen that, a lot of orders are still being left behind, being unfilled, just like I just explained on Bitcoin. So we have also taken out a very important draw on liquidity to the upside, right? So yesterday we took out this buys of liquidity, which in Monday's video, I told you guys this was my main target for Euro. We have reached it. Very nice indeed. Now, after reaching the target, we can see that today we got a sweep of yesterday's high, of previous day high over here, right? So we've seen a higher time frame sweep. We've seen a median time frame sweep. Now this median time frame sweep tapped into this breaker block over here, right? So we have this breaker block, right? Previous demand filled. Now it became supply, it became a breaker block. We've tapped into that breaker block. Higher time frame, potential bearish structure. 15-minute time frame, we can see that we were constantly forming higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? Now, over here more locally, if we're going to check the 5-minute time frame, we can see that also in the 5-minute we were forming higher lows and higher highs. Now over here we formed a low, but we didn't break this previous low, so it was actually liquidity sweep. We broke the high, made a new high, made a new higher low, higher high. Over here, we broke that higher low. Bearish market structure on the 5-minute time frame. So 5-minute time frame has bearish market structure, 15-minute time frame doesn't have it yet, and that's a little bit scary over here because it's a high time frame kind of setup. So we might have to wait for the 5-minute kind of confirmation instead of the 15-minute kind of confirmation, but still, regardless, I do think that this looks like a potential top, and then we might prefer shorts over longs on Euro, and then we could be targeting this week that we put in over here during that NFP data on Friday. We have reached my first target of the week. Now my second target of the week on Euro, maybe even next week, will be this low that we put in during NFP. I think sooner or later, market makers will take out that low. They will take out that liquidity. They will fill their unfilled orders that are being left behind around that area. Now, if you guys do have any questions after watching this update on both Bitcoin and Euro against the dollar, let me know in the comment section down below. I would also appreciate a subscribe to this YouTube channel as always, and I'll catch you guys on Friday's video. Ciao, ciao.